Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma. Bandho Muni Savadhana Mate. Bandho Muni Savadhana Mate. Jahara Prasade Bhai E Bhavatoriya Jai. Jahara Prasade Bhai E Bhavatoriya Jai. Krishna Prapti Ho Jaha Hoite. Krishna Prapti Ho Jaha Hoite. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitit Koribo Aikya. Padma Vakya Chitit Koribo Aikya. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitit Koriyo Aikya. Arana kori ho mane asha. Arana kori ho mane asha. Shri Guru Charane Rati Ese Uttama Gati. Shri Guru Charane Rati Ese Uttama Gati Jai Prasadi Pure Sarva Asha Jai Prasadi Pure Sarva Asha चक्षुदान दिलो जय जन्म जन्म प्रभु से चक्षुदान दिलो जय जन्म जन्म प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो प्रेमा भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते प्रेमा भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते वेद गाय जहाँ चरितो वेद गाय जहाँ चरितो श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आधम जनार बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आदम जनार बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आदम जनार बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आदम जनार बंधु लोकेनाथ लोकेरा जीवाना लोकेनाथ लोकेरा जीवाना हा हा प्रभु कोरो दोया देह मोरे पादा चाया हा हा प्रभु कोरो दोया देह मोरे पादा चाया हा हा प्रभु कोर दोया देह मोरे पादा चाया हा हा प्रभु कोर दोया देह मोरे पादा चाया एवे जाष्ट शक्त भुवाना एवे जाष्ट शक्त भुवाना श्रीला प्रभुपाद पतित पावना 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 Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Netai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Netai Gaura Hari Bol. Netai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Netai Gaura Hari Bol. श्रीमद इस डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणार वृंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की। प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड श्री गिरि गोवर्धन की। श्री वृंदावन धाम की, श्री नवदीप मायापुर धाम की, पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की, गंगा माई की, जमुना माई की, भक्ति देवी की, तुलसी महारानी की, कलयुग पावन श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, बृहत मृदंग ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की, ट्रांसेंडेंटल प्रसादम डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which we can attain pure devotional service. I bow to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is the perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From his ecstatic prema emanates, by him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor, and the Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto me. Give me the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds.
Hare Krishna everyone. I welcome everyone to our Sunday Feast program. We'll have a talk by Balram on the topic of intensity for Krishna. So we can all turn around this way. Those who like to sit on the chair, feel free to sit on the chair. Those who like to sit on the floor, please come forward and sit on the floor. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari. Jaya Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandanam Raja Janaranjana Yashodanandanam Raja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandanam Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandanam Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sankirtan ki, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. So today we are reading from Bhagavad-Gita 3.8. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Get to the verse. We can do the verse. Radhaman Prabhu. Yeah. Niyatam Kuru Karma Tvam. Niyatam Kuru Karma Tvam. Karma Jayo Hi Akarmanaha. Karma Jayo Hi Akarmanaha. Sharira Yatrapi Cha Te. Sharira Yatrapi Cha Te. Na Prasidyed Akarmanaha. Na Prasidyed Akarmanaha. Niyatam Kuru Karma Tvam. Karma Jayo Hi Akarmanaha. Sharira Yatrapi Chate. Na Prasidyed Akarmanaha. Niyatam Kuru Karma Tvam. Karma Jayo Hi Akarmanaha. Sharira Yatrapi Chate. Na Prasidyed Akarmanaha. Niyatam kuru karma tvam karma jyayo hi akarmanaha sharira yatra pichate na prasidyet akarmanaha. Any daring few? Niyatam kuru karma tvam Anyone else? Niyatam kuru karma tvam karma jayo hi akarmanaha sharira yatra pichate na prasidyeda karmanaha. Niyatam kuru karma tvam karma jayo hi akarmanaha sharira yatra pichate na prasidyeda karmanaha. Okay, word for word. Niyatam, prescribed. Kuru, do. Karma, duties. Tvam, you. Karma, work. Jaya, better. He, certainly. Akarmanaha, then no work. Sharira, bodily. Yatra, maintenance. Api, even. Cha, also. Te, your. Na, never. Prasidyet, is affected. Akarmanaha, without work. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Perform your prescribed duty, for doing so is better than not working. One cannot even maintain one's physical body without work. Purport. There are many pseudo-meditators who misrepresent themselves as belonging to high parentage, and great professional men who falsely pose that they have sacrificed everything for the sake of advancement in spiritual life. Lord Krishna did not want Arjuna to become a pretender. Rather, the Lord desired that Arjuna performed his prescribed duties as set forth for Kshatriyas. Arjuna was a householder and a military general, and therefore it was better for him to remain as such and perform his religious duties as prescribed for the householder Kshatriya. Such activities gradually cleanse the heart of the mundane man and free him from material contamination. So-called renunciation for the purpose of maintenance is never approved by the Lord, nor by any religious scripture. After all, one has to maintain one's body and soul together by some work. Work should not be given up capriciously, without purification of materialistic propensities. Anyone who is in the material world is certainly possessed of the impure propensity for lording it over material nature, or, in other words, for sense gratification. Such polluted propensities have to be cleared. Without doing so, through prescribed duties, one should never attempt to become a so-called transcendentalist, renouncing work and living at the cost of others. Om Gyantimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Khadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savaduta Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastyatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Everyone's recovered from last week? Some of us haven't. They're still at home recovering. So I'll just recall what we've been reading, because the last 2 weeks we haven't done, last week we did, but everybody was away. And the week before that we had a different festival in the temple. So I'll just recall where we're at in the Gita. So, for those that do not know or do know, the Bhagavad-Gita is the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. Krishna is God. Arjuna is his friend. There is a battlefield. Arjuna and his family members, they've split up. There's a family feud going on. They're kings, they're royal family. And the feud is so large that a whole war has broken out. The biggest war that the earth has ever seen. All because of a family feud. Arjuna and his brothers are the rightful heirs of the throne. But his other part of his family, his cousins, his uncles, they've usurped the throne. And there's a whole war. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people are waiting to start the war. Horses are there, elephants are there. Men ready for bloodshed. Arjuna looks across the field, and both armies are there. And he sees his uncles, his aunties, his cousins, people that he's grown up with, people that he played with as a child. And he's just now realizing, I have to kill these people. So, if you put yourself in his shoes, imagine your own family members. They're on the other side of the battlefield and you have to fight. Even if you try to escape the war, the casualties will be there. So he doesn't know what to do. He has a panic attack. He's shivering, he's sweating, he's trembling, his weapons are slipping from his hands. And he falls onto his knees to Krishna. But luckily, Arjuna has his chariot driver. And his chariot driver is none other than Krishna. Krishna, who is God. And in complete surrender, he doesn't know what to do. So he starts having a panic attack, and as you do, whilst having a panic attack, you question everything in your life. Every single thing. Not just the topic at hand, everything. Nothing makes sense. Is this right? Should I leave? What's the meaning of life? If anyone has, I'm sure some people in the room, at least I have had some kind of existential crisis where you just question everything in life. So Arjuna is doing so. And he's on the verge of tears. And Krishna, who is God, in every culture, God is omniscient. He has the answer to everything. So, in a one-on-one conversation, luckily, he gets the best person for the job to answer his questions. And he asks, and the Bhagavad-Gita is that entire conversation, the manual of life. So we've read chapter 1, we've read chapter 2. Chapter 1 was setting the scene, what's going on in the battlefield. Chapter 2 is the entire summary of the entire Gita. The entire summary is there. And now we're in chapter 3. Chapter 3 is about karma yoga. So as we know, there are many yogas. Which yoga is the most common? Hey? Bhakti? That's not the most common one. Huh? Yeah? Ashtanga yoga. Yes. Acrobatics, stretching, downward dog. That's the most common yoga. But if we look at yoga, what a yoga actually is, yoga means connect. Yuj. It comes from the Sanskrit word yuj, which means to connect. Connect with who? Either the universe or even higher than that, God. So there are different levels of yoga. There's Ashtanga yoga, so that you can become very fit. Fit so that you can do all yogic practices, real connecting with Krishna. You can become very fit, because if your body is not fit, how are you going to do anything? Right? If you can't leave your bed and you've got back pain every day, you gotta get out there. So karma yoga is the yoga of work. It talks about how you work for Krishna. You do all your work. Everyone here, I'm guessing, has a job apart from the students. You got to work. So that's where we're at. So just reminding ourselves of the translation, Krishna is saying to Arjuna, perform your prescribed duty, for doing so is better than not working. One cannot even maintain one's physical body without work. Arjuna is basically saying before this, Krishna, I don't care anymore. I just need to leave. I can't do this. What if I just abandon all my duties? I know I'm a soldier. I know I have responsibility. But if I just abandon everything, maybe the war will stop and less people will get harmed. And Krishna is saying, no, you got to work. Right? There's no one in the world that doesn't work. One cannot even maintain one's physical body without work. Yeah. You got to make a living, right? Everyone's got to make a living. We've got to make the money. Otherwise, how can you live? You got to maintain the car, no? The body that we're in is usually described as being like a car. Just like a car. What can you think of anything that a car does that the body does? Hey? Take some food, yeah, there's a nozzle. We fill up the petrol, take some food. What else? It goes places. Now it's got wheels, we've got legs, right? Window wipers, you've got eyes, you've got a window, your eyes, you can see out of the window, right? What else? Yeah, the engine, yeah, you've got a driving force in the body. You've got a battery, we've got a battery, a heart, right? You've got a fuel tank. We've got a stomach, right? Even got an exhaust, It's just like a car, So what is the body but a car, right? It's the same thing. And what do you do when the car breaks down? You take it to the body shop, right? You take it to the garage. Is it fit for the road? Is it not? Do you go to the hospital? There are, the garage people that fix up the car for you in the hospital. It's just like a car. But what's more important than the car? Will the car work if there is no driver? No. Without a driver, the car is dead, right? Is the car living or is it dead? Dead, right? But when it's driven around and you don't see the driver, what does it look like? It looks like it's living. It's going here, it's going there, it's honking its horn, Anyone watch the movie Cars? Kids film? All the cars, they're living. But you can't see inside, no. You can't see inside. This is my conspiracy theory, that all of the cars, they have a person inside, Well, you don't see the person inside. So where we think the cars are alive, that's a bit weird, a nice kids film. All the cars in the world are alive. No. But no, the driver is the most important part. Of course, we can take the car to the body shop, we can fill it with fuel, we can drive it everywhere, we can honk the horn, we can take care of it very nicely, but without taking care of the driver, the car is dead. It won't go anywhere, right? So the body is just like that, and the driver is the soul, right? It's the soul. So the driver is actually what makes the car look alive. Right? Look alive. Everyone heard that phrase before? Come on, look alive. Once I was working for a marketing company in Manchester, and we used to go for business trips. And one campaign we had to do is we had to go to a campaign up in Newcastle somewhere. And we had to stay and do a stall in a shopping center where people would come and we'd have to try and convince them to change their gas and electric company. Scottish Power would represent. And we'd have to go early in the morning before everybody came, and we had to set up the stall. And then it was completely quiet. We had to wait for people to come. And there was a half an hour at the start when nobody was there. Everybody was ready. We were on the edge of our seats. Where can we change people's gas and electric company, And our manager, I remember this still, in the morning, we were all tired, and the first person walked through the doors, down the alleyway, not the alleyway, but in the aisle of the shopping center, and the manager said, "Guys, look alive." And I was thinking about that. Look alive. Are we not alive? Isn't it? We're all alive. Why do we have to tell each other, look alive, You're already alive. So there must be levels of how we look alive. How alive are we, You could just be living. You're alive. But then they say, there's a phrase, no? If you've done this, you've never lived. Of course I've lived. I'm living, You've never had mango in your life. You've never lived, I'm living. I'm existing. I'm living. I'm not dead. But there's different levels of life, no? You can say that. We just don't analyze it. Once I was in school, and when I was in school, first thing in the morning you see, I don't know if you can recall in your school, you have registration with all the students waiting to be registered, All the students come early. But at registration time, there's nothing to do, right? So what do? You just sit around, So at the time, whenever I would go to school in the morning, every single one of my class, half of the class would be sleeping on the desk, Half of the class would be moaning and saying things, I guarantee this, fact. They would say every day, without a doubt, I'd hear the phrase, I can't be asked today, Everybody was so just tired, first thing in the morning, Monday morning, You can't be asked with today. And at the same time, what we were doing, we had a youth group in Manchester, and some of us boys, as part of our bhakti or Krishna consciousness or spiritual practice, we'd all get on a Zoom call every single weekday in the morning, 6 a.m. Everybody get up early, log into Zoom, we'd all do something spiritual together. Start the day off nicely, We'd either read, chant, talk, learn some skills, something spiritual. And because we did this first thing in the morning, we were buzzing first thing in the morning. Everybody was so alive, you know. And every single one of us, I got news of this from all the boys would go to their individual schools, and first thing in the morning, they'd see the same thing as I did. I can't be asked today, you know. And everybody would be half dead. And meanwhile, these boys, they look strange because they're happy, you know. How weird is that? One time, I got asked by my mate, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with me? I'm happy, you know. We live in a world where first thing in the morning, if you're happy, something's wrong with you, you know. So every single one of the boys would have this kind of, and then people would gravitate, you know. So what's going on with this guy, you know? Something up with this guy. But why was everyone happy? Why was everyone looking alive? Because we were feeding the soul. We weren't just going to the body shop. We weren't just filling the car with fuel. We were feeding the soul, taking the soul to their body shop, you know, and taking care of them. Once that is done, then you look alive, right? I'm going with this car analogy too much, but you get a drunk driver, right? They're half drunk, you know. Body is barely being taken care of. You get them driving, the car's swerving here and there. Looks like the car's going to end its life, you know. But you get a perfectly sober, healthy driver. The car is driving wonderfully, right? So similarly, if our soul is fed very nicely, very sumptuously, and given priority, then the body looks even more alive. Isn't that right? So, look alive, you know. So, I was recalling, we have one book, it's not in the shop, but I have one at home. It's an ISKCON book written by one of Srila Prabhupada's disciples called Our Family Business. Our Family Business. And the book is all about book distribution. Because Srila Prabhupada, one of his main campaigns in the world was to get these Vedic spiritual books out there. Because these books, he would describe them as time bombs, you know. You give them to someone and eventually, one day, they might not read it, you know, who reads nowadays, right? But one day, they might get bored and they might pick it up and their whole life might change. So, a big campaign in our ISKCON was book distribution. Give as many books out as possible. Just last week, on the Rath Yatra, I was talking to a devotee from Liverpool, and he was telling me his entire story, you know, his entire origin story, you know, of how he came to Krishna consciousness. And he was telling, I'm not going to say now, because I don't know if they want me to say, but it was like twists and turns, and eventually it came down to them receiving a small book. And that was it. Their life was changed. So these books are so important. So this book, Our Family Business, is about book distribution. And I was reading it. And in there's a bunch of tips and tricks how to distribute more books. And how it can benefit the whole of society. And one of the tips and tricks I noticed was, you have to have your spiritual practices on game. Perfect as can be. Sadhana, spiritual practice, chanting, reading, whatever you're doing, has to be nice. If you do that, people will be naturally attracted to you. Then it continued. I was curious. Why? You're just reading, you know, nobody can see that you've read, you know, or chanting or spiritual. But no. When someone is spiritually elevated, they have this natural glow. Has anybody ever noticed this? If you've ever seen, you know. They have this natural glow. You can just tell somehow. It's like an invisible glow, right? So it's said in the book that if your sadhana, your spiritual practice is as nice as possible, you're feeding that driver, that soul, as much as possible, then you'll look alive. People, you don't even have to go to people and distribute the book to them. They'll come to you. And I've heard many stories of this happening. If you are spiritually advancing yourself, you just naturally become attractive to people. Even if you are materially, I'm not going to say ugly, but less attractive. You have this spiritual glow about you. You know. Have you ever noticed that? Some people, they just look like an average person, but they just, for some reason, they attract people, you know. Prabhupada, you know. When Prabhupada was in America, when he first came, all of the disciples of Srila Prabhupada, they would all say, we didn't understand a thing he was saying because of his thick Bengali accent, but you could just tell, you know. He had this glow about him, his golden glow. You know, it's interesting, huh? People have this, you know. So, Krishna consciousness can make you glow. Anyways, so that was a point about the body and the soul. So now we have to weigh up who to work for. This verse is about working. This whole chapter is about working, right? We can either work for the body or we can either work for the soul. Prabhupada was calling out or also mentioning some people, they fake it, you know. I mean, you're going to see this online, you know. Go on Google, you'll probably see so many examples, you know. Fake it till you make it. Sometimes we have that philosophy, right? So we have to decide who we're working for. We're working anybody's, right? We're working for anybody anyways. You're either working for your parents, you want to make them, you know, pleased with whatever you're doing. Parents want to work for the children, so they get provided for. You work for your boss, so they become happy and they give you a paycheck. Your boss works for you, so he keeps you as employees, right? Everybody's working. So you've got to decide who to work for. So we should work towards the soul. Because if we keep maintaining the body, we're not going to do anything. That's why we have more, you know, mental health clinics in the world than ever before now. You know, it's a key problem. Nobody's looking towards that. Everyone's taking care of the body. You know, you're not going to fix a problem. You're not going to fix a material problem that was created by material thinking by more material thinking. You have to go subtly. We have to go deeper. So, anyways, on Wednesday we have our Bhakti Lounge, and this Wednesday we were talking about the tree of devotion. Does anybody remember the tree? Katrina Mataji, you remember the tree? Yeah? So the whole of existence is described like this. There is the spiritual world and there's the material world. Now, the spiritual world is said to be like a tree. Okay? Imagine a tree. And the tree is over a body of water. And in the water you see a reflection of the tree. Okay? Now, it said that this is the entirety of existence. There's a spiritual world and the material world. It looks just a little bit like the spiritual world. It's a reflection, but a perverted reflection. Everything's not exactly the same. It's a perverted reflection. And what we're doing in the world, what you see, 99% of people, they're seeing the material world and they're seeing the tree, but it's the reflection, you know. They're seeing that might have some substance. They're seeing the fruits on the tree and they're diving into the water. But is it the tree? No, it's not the tree. So that's the story of our lives. We're seeing the fruit in the water and we're diving in the water, getting soaked, thinking, where was the water? Where was the fruit? That's the story of all our lives, you know. So we have to see where we're endeavoring. Are we endeavoring for the real tree, or are we endeavoring for the reflection? And this reflection is this perversion. You know, you see the water, it's not always still. It's not a perfect reflection like a mirror. It's a little bit different, right? We were saying, when you look in a mirror, it doesn't look exactly like you, right? Has anyone noticed this? You take a picture of yourself. If you've ever seen a picture of yourself, and then you compare it with a reflection of yourself, it doesn't look the same, no? Some people have a shocking experience, you know. When your face is inverted, oh my God, I look like that, you know. It's not real. So this reflection is not real. And this not realness, there's a Sanskrit word for that called Maya. Maya means, does anybody know? Illusion, yeah. The literal meaning is that which is not. Maya, which means illusion. So we can either work for the reflection, Maya, or we can either work for the real thing, Krishna. One time, I was hearing this story yesterday. Srila Prabhupada was in India, and he had a meeting with the Birla family. Anybody know the Birla family? Yeah? The Birla family, at the time when they had that meeting, they were the richest family in all of India. And he had a program, and Prabhupada asked, what's the topic of class do you want me to give? You want me to give a lecture? What topic shall I give? And the Birla family, being the most successful people in all of India, they said, give a lecture about success. As if they didn't have it already, right? Can you imagine that? The richest family in the entirety of India, and they asked, what is success? Anyways, so Prabhupada started giving the class. And he gave a plain definition. Success is when we stop working for Maya and we start working for Radha. Now, on the face, this seems like, okay, standard, Radha is the companion of Krishna. Now, Maya, personified, is said to be an expansion of Srimati Radharani. So, success is simply leveling up, like a game, is when we stop serving illusion, Maya, and we start serving and working for the eternal reality, which is Srimati Radharani. So, anyways, the soul is the most important thing to be taken care of, Krishna. Just crying for Radharani. Jai. Yeah. What was I saying? Yes, work for. I was just testing. Everyone's on the same page. Yeah. So, anyways, does everyone understand so far? Yeah, makes sense. I've not lost anybody. Nobody's in illusion right now, right? Okay. So yeah, both are important. We've got to serve the body, you've got to serve the soul. But what's more important, body or the soul? Soul, right? Without the soul, body wouldn't work, right? Without the body, soul can still go somewhere else, right? You can always get a new car, right? So now let's go even deeper. We've established soul is more important than the body. How do we work for the soul? Anybody know? Anybody have a clue? Being authentic? Yes. Yeah, completely. Anybody else? Hey. Chanting? Yes. Spiritual practice? Yeah. Anybody else? Believe in yourself? Yeah. You've got to have confidence. Anybody else? Come on. Meditation? Yeah. What kind of meditation? Yeah. Being Krishna conscious. Okay, anyways. So, we understand that to work for the soul and that food for the soul is bhakti. Everyone here heard of bhakti? No? Yes? Bhakti is, okay, before Srila Prabhupada wrote all of his books, in all of the philosophical, theological, academic studies of bhakti, or Eastern philosophy, bhakti was defined as, does anybody have any idea? Devotion. Yes. Bhakti means devotion. But when Srila Prabhupada wrote his books, he clarified. So then after that, what is bhakti defined as? Devotional service. Now, what's changed? I enjoy testing all of you. Come on. Huh? Service. That's true. You're saying the second word, you know. Like, come on. Noun to verb. Yeah? Yeah. Action. Yeah. Devotional service. Now it's practical, right? You're doing something. You could say, I have bhakti, I have devotion, I'm very spiritual. All right, what are you doing? No, I'm just very spiritual. You know, what are you doing? I'm just a spiritual person. You know, I think about Krishna all the time. I'm deep in thought. That's nice. What are you doing? Everybody's thinking, right? We've connected it to Krishna. You know, someone's thinking somewhere else. Thought is going everywhere. So, practically, devotion, bhakti, means a practical thing. Devotional service. Some people think these spiritualists, you know, like Prabhupada was saying in the purport, these transcendentalists, they just give up everything and then now I'm a spiritual man, you know. I am the guru, you know. I'm a very spiritual person. What are you doing? Because bhakti, real bhakti, not fake bhakti, is devotional service. It's practical. I often quote from the book Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Has anybody heard Brihad Bhagavatamrita? Do they remember? Okay, I'll quickly summarize because this class is going overtime. The Brihad Bhagavatamrita is a wonderful book where a great devotee of Krishna called Narada Muni, he is traveling the universe. He's known as to be like the spiritual astronaut. He can go anywhere at any time, just by thinking and just going there, you know, free, like the spiritual gypsy, just anywhere he wants, you know. And the Brihad Bhagavatamrita is a story full of lessons where Narada Muni is trying to find the person who has gotten the most mercy of Krishna, God. Who is the best devotee, you know. So he goes to one person, this Brahmana, this priest, and he's saying, wow, you're such a nice devotee. And he does a massive glorification of this devotee, and this devotee is so humble, thinking, me, a devotee? I'm not a devotee. Go to the next guy. You know who's a really nice devotee? The king. The king's a very nice devotee. So Narada Muni says, all right, and then he goes to the king. And the king does some nice devotional activities. And Narada Muni starts glorifying the king. Wow, what a nice devotee you are. And he's saying, I'm not a nice devotee. You think I'm a devotee? Me, a devotee? No, this guy's a devotee. And then on from character to character to character to character to character. Everybody, with complete humility, directs Narada Muni to someone else. And eventually, it goes all the way through a whole chain of people, of me, a devotee. It goes all the way to Srimati Radharani. Now on the way, Narada Muni comes across a devotee called Prahlad Maharaj. Okay, and Prahlad Maharaj is said to be a Mahajan. Mahajan are the 12 greatest devotees of Krishna. And Prahlad Maharaj is glorified by Narada Muni. And Prahlad Maharaj, classically, as everybody did, me, a devotee? You call me a devotee? I'm not a devotee. And then he lists a bunch of reasons why he's not a devotee, in complete humility. Of course, he's a great devotee. But in complete humility, he says, me, a devotee? I'm no devotee. You know, that's how a devotee is. You know, can you imagine? Every devotee claims, I'm not a devotee. And those who claim, I'm a devotee. Let's see. Anyways, one of Prahlad Maharaj's excuses, the point I was getting at, the reasons why he's saying, I'm not a devotee, is because if you look at the whole of Prahlad Maharaj's story, what is the example of in bhakti? In terms of any devotional practice, what is the example of? What does he do best? Chanting, association, what does he do best for Krishna? Does anybody know? Remembering Krishna. Yes. He is the example of someone that remembers Krishna at all times. So one of his excuses or reasons that he gives is, me, a devotee, I just remember Krishna. You go to Hanuman, he has been serving Krishna practically. So as we go down and down the chain, we get to more sweeter levels of bhakti. Sweeter and sweeter levels of bhakti. Eventually we get to Srimati Radharani. But Prahlad Maharaj is letting Narad Muni go into the chain to Hanuman because he's saying, I just thought of Krishna. Of course, great devotee. We cannot deny that. But he is in complete humility saying, Hanuman did something practical for the Lord. And that too, for thousands of years, he served the Lord. So you go to him. He's a real devotee. So the point is, what is devotion? Is it meant to be practical or theoretical? Practical, right? We have to do practical things. That is real bhakti. Not just, I'm a devotional person. So anyways, so we understand now, bhakti, devotional service. Should we go even deeper? Yeah? Now, we've got to the conclusion. Service has to be practical. Now we look at the different types of service. Now, plainly, I'll not list all of the different types of service, but I'll categorize them into two. There is two types of service. There is direct service and there is indirect service. Okay? Can you think of what indirect service would be? Go on. Yeah, I think you can categorize it in that. Yeah, wonderful answer. Yeah. One time, I like this quote. There was, I think, Pope Francis of Assisi. He quoted, someone asked him about his preaching endeavors, because he was a pope, he preached, in Christianity, you preach. And he was asking about his preaching endeavors, and he said, I preach every day, and sometimes I say something. You understand what that means? What does it mean? Exactly what she said, You preach, well, the best way of preaching oftentimes isn't, directly talking to someone and saying, this is the way, come to God, Fix your life. Preaching, the best type of preaching is by your example. If people are naturally inspired by you, then that's even better preaching than just telling them, do something, So yeah, indirect service is like that. Any others? No? Yeah, could say. I'll say a very obvious one. Something like indirect service. You could say donating to the temple, or donating to charity, right? Because you're not actually, let's say, today we were feeding the hostels, right? The devotees upstairs, they were cooking prasadam for the hostels for them to eat. And that's direct service. What could you do? You could donate for the ingredients in the prasadam room. You're still doing service, but it's indirect. You're not physically feeding them by hand, right? So there is that kind of thing. So based on where you're at with your Krishna consciousness, you don't have to do direct service. You can do indirect. Who is it? Ambarish Prabhu, one of Prabhupada's disciples who's still on the planet. Alfred Ford, he's the grandson of Henry Ford, the big Ford company. What was his main service that Prabhupada wanted him to do? Donate. The world doesn't work on, vibes, You got to get, money is needed, We're purchasing the property next to the car park, We can't just tell the person we're Hare Krishnas. Oh, you're Hare Krishnas, here's the property. No, you need some money, So that's indirect service. And what's direct service? Physical, yeah. stuff, clean the temple, vacuum the temple, serve the devotees, cook something upstairs. They're doing practical service. They're physically cooking for the cooking for us now. Anything practical. That is direct service, And from this service, what do you think is even sweeter? What is the sweetest out of the two? Physical, direct service, yeah. You could say, you get benefit from both, but you get more benefit, or you get more sweetness out of direct, right? So, let's go even deeper. How do we make this direct service even sweeter? Anybody know? Yeah. Yeah, well, you're doing direct service already. Just repeating the formula. So, it's a bit of a long class, but we'll go with it. Anyone hungry yet? No? Okay. I'll go another hour then. I'm kidding. In Sanskrit, there is a term called rasa. Okay? Everyone heard of this word, rasa? Rasa is the phrase or the name of the sweetness that comes out of any exchange. A parent with a child, as Sita is, taking care of her child behind, there is a sweet exchange going on between them. Parent and child, Balaji and Krishna Bala, they have a sweet exchange between them, father and daughter, by friendly love, there is an exchange. They can exchange of friendly love. With this mic, I'm having an exchange with it, no? It's in front of me, I'm using it, I have some exchange with it. So the sweetness that comes out of any exchange, any relationship, is called rasa, the sweetness. Have you ever heard of anyone define this sweetness before? No. I didn't know this either before. The sweetness of an exchange is called rasa. There's no word for this in English. Mellow, yeah. Yeah, it's a close, but you can't really say, So yeah, mellow or rasa. So that's the rasa. Now, when Krishna is put into this exchange, and we're having exchanges with Krishna through devotional service, and we're having exchanges with the devotees, and we're having exchanges in bhakti, in devotional service, that's called bhakti rasa. Loving, sweet, devotional service. So that becomes even sweeter. So when we have our service and we add Krishna into that service, but that bhakti rasa isn't just any rasa, it's not just any service, it's when that service is intensified. These are some spiritual mathematics. We'll have to get a whiteboard one day to write this out. But when this service is intensified, it's not just casual anymore. It's more intensity than casualty. Then this bhakti rasa, it gets given the synonym. Does anybody know what the synonym is? It's called amrita. Now amrita means nectar. So this sweetness of rasa that gets turned into bhakti rasa gets even more intensified, and then it becomes nectar. That's how sweet it is. So how sweet exchanges can go, there's no limit. It becomes amrita. But this is only when that service, that devotional service, is intensified. That's why I chose the topic today, intensity for Krishna. So, because, and when this intensity is there, I'll put it plainly, intensity in bhakti rasa is basically when we take an anxiety for Krishna. Of course, devotional life is very nice. Who here likes devotional life? I like devotional life, it's very nice, spiritual life. You come to the temple, we sing and dance, we have a party, we have a boogie, we have free prasadam upstairs, free food. You have wonderful best of friends in the temple, we have space to have loving exchanges. It's a very nice life. But with a very nice situation, there is a risk of getting in the comfort zone, right? There's a risk of getting in the comfort zone. I feel I'm in my comfort zone, So, this is the story of devotional life. We talked about origin story before, When you hear the origin story of many devotees, I've heard many over the years, how people come to Krishna consciousness or bhakti, in general. There is always, it starts off with, the book, they get introduced. They come, they start hanging out with the devotees, and they've got a taste. They're getting a sniff of this rasa. It's sweet. It's very nice. It's nice. You're having a nice experience, right? I'm coming to the temple, I'm having a nice time. My life is improving, I feel more peaceful, And I'm doing everything. I'm associating, I'm reading the books, I'm listening to the lectures, I'm chanting, I'm having prasadam, I'm having a nice devotional diet, I'm vegetarian, it's lovely. But then in majority of the cases, every person, they hit a wall. There's a barrier. Maybe you have hit this wall before. Maybe you're yet to do it. So here's a heads up. Maybe you'll hit this wall in devotional life. You hit this wall, and that taste on the tip of your tongue is not there anymore. You can't smell. That nice taste of rasa is not there. And some people, they choose what to do then. Some people, they write, all right, I'll just go somewhere else. Maybe I'll get that sweetness somewhere else. Not getting it here anymore. Or some people, they come to the devotees and they ask, what's going on with my life? This is the key. This is how to say? Canon event, they say nowadays, no? Happens in everybody's life. Well, devotional life, Once you start going on that devotional journey. So, this is because the devotee has got in their comfort zone. They're used to everything, But that rasa turned to bhakti rasa. It never turned to amrita. Because they got comfortable. So, like you have, every single corporate diagram, if you've done business or anything like that, they have this diagram where there's a circle and it says comfort zone in there. And outside there's an outer circle called stretch zone. And outside that, it's called overwhelm, just overwhelming, So it said that we have to be in the stretch zone. If you're in your comfort zone, you're not where you're supposed to be. You're not going to progress in your comfort zone, especially in Krishna consciousness. If you're in your stretch zone, that's when you're going to start progressing. But if you do too much, it gets overwhelming. That's when you might just say, hey, I don't like this anymore, too much for me, I'm out, But then you're missing out. So we have to make sure that we're in the stretch zone. Yeah? Same page, everybody's on the same page, huh? Okay. So, I'll start finishing off now, because it's very late. So yes, this stretch zone is where we want to be if we want to grow. If we're at that barrier, if you ever get to that barrier, or if you've already gone to that barrier, if you're right in that barrier right now, that is when we have to start getting into stretch zone. Evaluate where you are in your life, in your Krishna consciousness, in your spirituality, in your spiritual practice. Evaluate where you are. Get in that stretch zone. Otherwise, you won't grow. And it might just become, come to the temple on a Sunday. It's raining today. Sunny, I could go for a picnic. I could see the devotees today. I've got something else on, So we want to be in the stretch zone. And how to do that? Intensify. Take some anxiety. When we say A, B, C, D, and what's the E? We've said before, I've mentioned this so many times. This is my token thing. A, B, C, D, association, books, chanting, diet. E. What's it? Engagement in what? Devotional service. Yes. So you do A, B, C, D, E, you get comfortable, but then you hit the barrier. Then you have to engage in service. And not just any service. Let's go a little bit deeper. Last 2 minutes. Engage in service. Of course, if someone asks you, Prabhu, can you just vacuum this place quickly before we shut up the temple? Yeah, sure. What's even better is taking some responsibility. Prabhu, can I do it today? Prabhu, I see you're doing this every day. Or have some ideas with the temple, Oh, that's a bit of a, gray area in the temple. Can I paint that? I see some cobwebs. Can I come and clean it one day? When we start taking anxiety, responsibility, ourselves to do service, we're not someone else's puppet, We don't wait for someone, Prabhu, can you wash the prasadam plates today? All right, I'll do it, since you've asked very politely. No, you do it. You ask, can I do it? When that anxiety comes, let me take some anxiety, responsibility, then that rasa becomes bhakti rasa and it becomes amrita. That's how to do it. It's a bit illogical when you say it out loud, no? Take some anxiety for Krishna, and then you'll experience bliss, rasa. Anxiety, is it a blissful thing? Anybody enjoy being anxious? Arjuna was very anxious on the battlefield. He had a panic attack, But when we become anxious, I'm telling you right now, take my word for it, test it out yourself, Take some anxiety for Krishna, and you'll feel more bliss than you did when you're in your comfort zone. When we had this temple coming up 4 years ago, before we had the temple, 1 year of anxiety to get the property for the temple. 1 year. Properties get bought like this every now and then. If you see around our streets, all the houses, there's a for sale sign and then it's sold. For sale sign, sold. For sale sign, sold. This temple took a year to get. How much anxiety? So much anxiety for Krishna, the devotees were, and so much anxiety for Krishna. But they were in more bliss than ever in the end. So this anxiety is how we become Krishna conscious. I think I'll end there because it's nearly 2 o'clock now. Yeah. I'll just end off just by talking about Prabhupada actually, because if you think Krishna consciousness is all, it's a very nice, like we said, it's a very nice lifestyle. Srila Prabhupada was one of the most advanced Krishna conscious people we know in history, right? Was he in his comfort zone? How much anxiety he was in. At the age of 69, he spent 6 years in Vrindavan, the most holy place in the entire universe. He was living there. He was chanting there. He was doing all of his devotional activities very nicely. He was visiting all the holy places around Vrindavan. Living nicely. That's the best retirement plan ever. Completely peaceful. Hearing peacocks chirping, The cows were going around. It was so beautiful. But what did he decide to do? He decided to leave that paradise at 69 years old, when you're meant to retire and just chill out now. But he got on a cargo ship from India to America. That's not fit for human travel. And he's 69 years old. He took anxiety. He had 2 heart attacks. If there was another one, he would have died. But he risked it. And he went to America. Let me take some anxiety for Krishna. Of course, we're not Prabhupada. We're not Prabhupada. We can't take that much anxiety. But we can follow in his footsteps. Take some anxiety, some responsibility. And then we'll get the same bliss. There's a wonderful song by Michael Cassidy, one of Prabhupada's disciples, Mangalananda Prabhu. And it's a wonderful song about glorifying Prabhupada. And the chorus of the song is, when will I taste the love that he is feeling inside? It's a wonderful chorus. When will I taste the love he is feeling inside? How? Anxiety. Take some anxiety for Krishna. Take some responsibility. And responsibility means some sacrifice sometimes. Right? If you think about, okay, last point, and then I'll finish. I'll go at 12. When the 12 is finished, then I'll finish, all right? When it hits 12. If you think about in everybody's life, okay, we have 8 billion people in the world, more than 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 years of history of human life, okay? Society has been working, more than 5,000, millions of years of human life, how human life is going. Nowadays, you see, people in their material life, they study for like 15, 20 years. For what? To get a new job, right? 15 to 20 years. Studying in debt. I'm in university. I've got so much debt right now. I've only done 1 year. Everyone's doing that. 15, 20 years. And people are willing to move their residence to an entire different city, entire different country, entire different continent just for a better paying job, for the better material life. Can you imagine? So much endeavor. Now then we ask the question, what have I done for Krishna? Anxious to ask that question to ourselves, huh? Compared to what we do for our material life and how much we do for our spiritual life. What have we done? Be completely realistic. It's such a difference in ratio, right? But then, to be a bit more optimistic, in the little we have done to get closer to Krishna, how much has our life changed? Does anybody have any experience? Has our lives changed for the better? Yes? No? Yeah? I'm not convinced by everybody. Okay. So in the little bit that we have done, our life has changed so much. Imagine if we just gave a little bit more. If we're doing this much for our material life and this much for our spiritual life, imagine if we just gave this much more for our spiritual life. The amount of difference we would feel. So to do that much, we have to have intensity, a little bit more anxiety, some sacrifice for Krishna. Don't be in our comfort zone. Comfort is the killer of success. So if we want to be successful in our Krishna conscious life, we have to get out of our comfort zone. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay. And does anybody have any questions or comments or challenges, debates? Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. Not necessarily. Karma yoga is about doing your work and giving everything to Krishna. Some devotees, there's two options usually devotees go down when they think of career in their whole life. One is have a job where they minimize the amount of time they're working as much as possible so that they can do some direct service. Right? Some people, let me start working 3 days a week and get as much money as possible, enough to suffice myself, then spend the rest of my time doing service, direct service. Others, and it's an adequate thing to do, they try to get at the top of the food chain, in work. And they try to get at the top of the food chain, get a really high-paying job, but then giving that to the temple or devotees or some way, devoting it to Krishna. So actually, your work is part of your service as well, in that way. No? Got to work. We can't live in this world without working. Of course, we have some eco-farms around in the world, ISKCON eco-farms, where you can work on the farm. You don't need a job, everything's provided for you. You grow your own food. But we're in England. We can't do that, Got taxes here, So, yeah, we have to treat our work as service, We have to. You can't escape it. So then we have to see how we can balance, Work for Krishna. Do everything in your work, do everything you're doing, but devote all of the results from that to Krishna. Simple as that. Is that all right? No worries. Any other question? Sure. All right. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We'll have some kirtan now, so everyone can be stood. Hey. Ooh. Are we doing kirtan or lamp offering?
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyatya Deshatarine Jai Prabhupada. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Chaitanya Nityananda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. जय राधा गोकुलानंद राधे, जय राधा मदन मोहन राधे। जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे। जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय। जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा। निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल। निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल। कलयुग पावन युग धर्म हरिनाम संकीर्तन की। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सत श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की। इस्कॉन फाउंडर आचार्य बीबीटी फाउंडर आचार्य श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर सत श्री श्रीमद श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर श्रील प्रभुपाद की। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपिका श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरिराज गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रज भूमि श्री मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। पूर्ण पुरुषोत्तम श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा मैया की जय। श्री पुरुषोत्तम अधिक मास की जय। समवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। सामवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। सामवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग की जय। निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So once again I welcome everyone in this temple for taking your precious time out to attend our Sunday feast program. I hope you had a wonderful time so far. Many of you were in London Rath Yatra last week. If you were there, you know what ecstasy we had. Those who were there, did you all enjoy? Say Hari Bol. Hari Bol. So we had about 50 devotees. We went, we took a coach to London. And the whole day, right in the morning, 7 o'clock, we came in near about 10 o'clock in the evening. And as Balram said, we were fully awake. Nobody slept. You know, all these 11, 12 hours, you know, where we were awake. So the festivities don't stop there. We have a Rath Yatra nearby. So next week, we have a Rath Yatra in Nottingham. Nottingham Rath Yatra ki jai. So if you miss London, or if you have come to London, if you want to have more ecstasy of Rath Yatra, you can make your way to Nottingham City Centre next Sunday. It starts at 11 o'clock. You don't need address, you know. You just go to City Centre and you'll see Rath Cart. And you just be part of the Rath Yatra festival. So that's the next Sunday. We have a Rath Yatra festival in Nottingham. And the Sunday after, which is 14th of June, we have a very wonderful devotee coming. His name is His Holiness Dayanand Swami Maharaj. Dayanand Swami Maharaj ki jai. So Maharaj is born and bred in Midlands. He's actually from Sheffield. And he gives wonderful class. He's been devotee for decades. And he spends most of his time in the Midlands now, and he has so kindly agreed to come and give his association. So Maharaj will be giving class on 14th, but most importantly, he does a very beautiful kirtan, very dancing, chanting kirtan. So 14th of June, if you want to have a really blissful kirtan experience, then come on 14th June. Maharaj will be here, of course, will give class on Bhagavad-Gita. And 14th June is also the last day of Purushottam month. We are in the middle of a Purushottam month. And that day is the last day of Purushottam month. So what a beautiful way to conclude the Purushottam month. It comes every 3 years. And this last day, we'll have a very sannyasi in our temple, and we'll be doing chanting and dancing in association. So 14th of June, Dayanand Swami Maharaj is coming. 7th June, which is next Sunday, we have Rath Yatra in Nottingham. Don't go London, go Nottingham. And then comes the 21st June. 21st June is the third week of June. And devotees from our congregation, we have decided to go for a 3-day retreat. 3-day retreat ki jai. So many of us have already given their names, and we'll be going on 19th, 20th and 21st of June in North Wales for 3 days of Krishna Katha. Some Krishna Katha, some prasadam, not some prasadam, lot of prasadam, rising early in the morning, and we'll do some yoga, Ashtanga yoga, some stretching exercise and all, so you can have a very good health when you go back home. So that's happening on 19th, 20th and 21st of June, the third week from now. So those devotees who like to come, you can come for 3 days, you can come for 2 days, or you can come for 1 day. You can just be a day visitor. So give your name either to myself or to Balram, and we'll give you more details about how to get there. So these are the next 3 weeks sorted for us. Then on 4th of July, we have Rath Yatra in Liverpool. Liverpool Rath Yatra ki jai. So I don't think you'll remember all these dates now. Okay? Easiest way to remember is that every Sunday something is happening. So you keep coming to the temple, then you won't miss out. So these are the festivals. Now coming to the closer, this Saturday, every month, first Saturday of the month, we do Mangalarti program. Mangalarti program starts 5 o'clock in the morning. I repeat, 5 o'clock in the morning, not in the evening. So it's a beautiful, event, a monthly event, where in the morning we come 5 o'clock, we sing a nice song for Krishna, then we chant together, we have a Tulsi Aarti, then we have Guru Puja, then we have a wonderful class on one of the great devotees of Krishna called Mahajan. So we'll be talking about that great devotee on Saturday. So I request all of you, we have started doing it since January, and this will be our 6th Mangalarti. So please do come 5 o'clock in the morning for Mangalarti. Now Balram spoke about in the class being in the stretch zone. So it's nice to be comfortable in the house, in the comfort zone, in the bed, 5 o'clock in the morning. But if you take a little anxiety to rise early in the morning and 5 o'clock in the temple, you will have the beautiful ecstatic experience in the temple. So I request all of you to please come this Saturday, Mangalarti. It starts at 5 o'clock, it goes till about 9 o'clock. At the 9 o'clock, we'll have prasadam for everybody. So we'll send you, feeding you nice sumptuous prasadam, so that you can come again next month again. Hare Krishna. So these are the festivals. This Saturday, Mangalarti. Sunday, Nottingham Rath Yatra. 14th June, week after, Dayanand Swami Maharaj is visiting temple. And week after, we are going for a retreat. Then 4th July, we have a Liverpool Rath Yatra. Now today, this is being the Purushottam month, we are going to sing a very beautiful song in glorification of Krishna. It's called Chaurashtakam. It will be shortly flashed on the screen here. Now in this song, we'll sing a song. At the end of the song, there will be somebody here, you come forward, you wash your hand with a couple of drops of water, somebody give you water, then you'll be given a lamp, and you can come and offer it to Krishna. You can do about 7 rounds to Krishna, and then give it to somebody will be here, you can give it and they will put the lamp here. So this Chaurashtakam that we are singing, it is in glorification of Krishna. Today Balram spoke about the anxiety. So when we hear the direct service to Krishna, then Krishna becomes very merciful. Then Krishna, what does Krishna do? He becomes so merciful to you that whatever is stopping you becoming a very pure devotee, Krishna takes away from you. He steals away from you. So he is glorified as thief. Chaurastakam. He is glorified as thief. So this great devotee called Bilva Mangala is glorifying Krishna. Krishna, you are a great thief. You are stealing everything from me. So now I'm going to punish you. I'll prison you in my heart. And my heart is a very dark place because I got so many bad qualities in my heart. So I'll prison you. It's a very great devotional song that we sing in every Purushottam month. So today, now we're going to sing this song. Please, very in a meditative way, please relish this song. At the end of the song, come forward and offer the lamp to Krishna. And while offering the lamp to Krishna, you can have the same prayer to Krishna. Krishna, I also have many unwanted things which is stopping me to becoming a good devotee. So please steal away whatever is troubling me. And he might steal away. I warn you. Be ready to be victims. So, thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
श्री चौराष्टकम की ब्रजे प्रसिद्धम नवनीतचोरम गोपांगनानां च दुकुलचोरम. Everyone please. नवनीतचोरम गोपांगनानां च दुकुलचोरम ब्रजे प्रसिद्धं नवनीतचोरम गोपांगनानां च दुकुलचोरम. अनेक जन्मार्जित पापचोरम चौराग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि. अनेक जन्मार्जित पापचोरम चौराग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि. व्रजे प्रसिद्धं नवनीतचोरं गोपाङ्गनानां च दुकुलचोरम् अनेक जन्मार्जित पापचोरं चौराग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि श्रीराधिकाय हृदयस्य चोरं नवाम्बुधश्यामलकान्तिचोरम् श्रीराधिकाय हृदयस्य चोरं नवाम्बुधश्यामलकान्तिचोरम् पदाश्रितानां च समस्तचोरं चौराग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि पदाश्रितानां च समस्तचोरं चौराग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि व्रजे प्रसिद्धं नवनीतचोरं गोपाङ्गनानां च दुकुलचोरं व्रजे प्रसिद्धं नवनीतचोरं गोपाङ्गनानां च दुकुलपुरम् अनेकजन्मार्जित पापचोरं चौराग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि चौराग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि अकिञ्चनीकृत्य पदाश्रितं या करोति भिक्षुं पथिगेहहीनम् अकिञ्चनीकृत्य पदाश्रितं या करोति भिक्षुं पथिगेहहीनम् केनाप्यहो भीषणो चोरयेद्रिक् दृष्टश्रुतो वा न जगत्त्रयेऽपि केनाप्यहो भीषणो चोरयेद्रिक् दृष्टश्रुतो वा न जगत्त्रयेऽपि व्रजे प्रसिद्धं नवनीतचोरं गोपाङ्गनानां च दुकुलचोरम् नवनीतचोरं गोपाङ्गनानां च दुकुलचोरम् अनेकजन्मार्जिता पापचोरं चौराग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि। यदीयनामपि हरते यशेषं गिरिप्रसारानपि पापराशिन् यदीयनामपि हरते यशेषं गिरिप्रसारानपि पापराशिन् आश्चर्यरूपो ननु चौरैदृक् दृष्टश्रुतो वा न माया कदापि। आश्चर्यरूपो ननु चौरैदृक् दृष्टश्रुतो वा न माया कदापि। व्रजे प्रसिद्धं नवनीतचोरं गोपाङ्गनानां च दुकुलचोरम् अनेकजन्मार्जित पापचोरं चौराग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि। धनं च मानं च तथेन्द्रियाणि प्रणं च हित्वा मम सर्वमेव। पलायसे कुत्र धृतोऽद्यचोर त्वं भक्तिधाम्नासि माया निबद्धा। व्रजे प्रसिद्धं नवनीतचोरं गोपाङ्गनानां च दुकुलचोरम् छिन्नत्सि घोरं यमपाशबन्धं भिन्नत्सि भीमं भवपाशबन्धम्। छिन्नत्सि सर्वस्य समस्तबन्धं नैवात्मनो भक्तकृतं तु बन्धम्। व्रजे प्रसिद्धं नवनीतचोरं गोपाङ्गनानां च दुकुलचोरम्। मन्मानसे तामसराशि घोरे कारागृहे दुःखमये निबद्धा। लभस्व हे चोर हरे चिराये स्वचौर्य दोषोचितमेव दण्डम् ब्रजे प्रसिद्धं नवनीतचोरं गोपाङ्गनानां च दुकूलचोरम् कारागृहे वस सदा हृदये मदीये मद्भक्ति पाश दृढ़ बंधन निश्चलासन हृदय मध्य मद्भक्ति पाश दृढ़ बंधन निश्चलासन त्वं कृष्ण है प्रलय कोटि शतंतरेपि सर्वस्व चोर हृदयन्न हि मोचयामि हे प्रलय कोटि शतंतरेपि सर्वस्व चोर हृदयन्न हि त्वं कृष्ण हे प्रलय कोटि शतंतरेपि सर्वस्व चोर हृदयन्न हि मोचयामि सर्वस्व चोर हृदयन्न हि मोचयामि ब्रजे प्रसिद्धं नवनीतचोरं गोपाङ्गनानां च दुकूलचोरम् ब्रजे प्रसिद्धं नवनीतचोरं गोपाङ्गनानां च दुकूलचोरम् अनेक जन्मार्जित पापचोरं चोराग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि अनेक जन्मार्जित पापचोरं चोराग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि चोराग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि चोराग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि चोराग्रगण्यं पुरुषं नमामि श्री चौराष्टकम की श्रील बिल्व मंगल ठाकुर की जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की ट्रांसलेशन I offer pranam to that foremost of thieves who is famous in Vraja as the butter thief, and he who steals the gopis' clothes, and who, for those who take shelter of him, steals the sin which have occurred over many lifetimes. I offer pranam to the foremost of thieves who steals Srimati Radhika's heart, who steals the dark lustre of fresh rain cloud, and who steals all the sins and sufferings of those who take shelter of his feet. He turns his surrendered devotees into paupers and wandering, homeless beggars. Aho! Such a fearsome thief has never been seen or heard of in all three worlds. Mere utterance of his name purges one of a mountain of sins. Such an astonishing, wonderful thief I have never seen or heard of anywhere. O thief, having stolen my wealth, my honor, my senses, my life and my everything, where can you run to? I have caught you with the rope of my devotion. You cut the terrible noose of Yamraj. You sever the dreadful noose of mortal existence, and you slash everyone's mortal bondage. But you are unable to cut the knot fastened by your own loving devotees. O stiller of my everything, O thief, today I have imprisoned you in the miserable prison house of my heart, which is very fearful due to the terrible darkness of my ignorance. And there, for a very long time you will remain, receiving appropriate punishment for your crimes of thievery. O Krishna, thief of my everything, the noose of my devotion, remaining forever tight, you will continue to reside in the prison house of my heart, because I will not release you for millions and millions of aeons. Shri Chaurashtakam ki jai. नरसिंहदेव भगवान की नमस्ते नरसिंहाय प्रह्लादल्हाददायिने हिरण्यकशिपो वक्षः शिलाचङ्कानखालये इतो नरसिंह परतो नरसिंह यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंह बहिर्नरसिंह हृदये नरसिंह नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे तव करकमलवरे नखम् अद्भुतशृङ्गार दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गां केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तव करकमलवरे नाथम् अद्भुत शृङ्गार दलिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गां केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय शिल प्रभुपाद सर्व विघ्न विनाशक लक्ष्मी नरसिंहदेव भगवान की, भक्तराज प्रहलाद महाराज की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, ताई गौर प्रेमानंदे, भगत महाप्रसाद की।
स्वल्प पुण्यावृतं राजन् विश्वासो नैवजायते शरीरारविद्याजा जड़ेन्द्रियताहेका जीवे फैले विषय सागरे तार मध्ये जीवायति लोभो मासु दुर्मति ताक्य जेता कठिन संसारे कृष्ण बड़ा दयामय करी बार जीव जाय सप्रसादन दिलो भाई शयनामृत पाव राधा कृष्ण गुण गाओ प्रेमे डाको श्री चैतन्य निताय जय निमाय जय निताय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्री राधा गोकुलानंद महाप्रसादम की जय ताई गो प्रेमानंदे हरे 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 कृष्णा The prasadam awaits for all of us upstairs. Please make your way upstairs. There will be a dance class at about 3 o'clock. So I request all of you to please take prasadam upstairs only. And 3:30. So yeah, then you can be here till 3:30. Then you can, if there is they come upstairs. So you can take prasadam upstairs or down here, but take platform upstairs. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.